Every API out there can be integrated with Bravo Studio. While this gives you the ultimate freedom, it might also be difficult to choose which tool is right for you. In this video, I will give you an overview over all the types of third-party apps that might be interesting to your project. We'll have a look at the advantages and disadvantages, so in the end, you'll be able to choose the perfect tool. My name is Jonas, I'm part of the Bravo Expert program and also an intern here at Bravo Studio. And I would like to welcome you to the first episode of Build It with Jonas. First, we're going to have a look at the different types of databases. So to answer the question, where do I store my data? Then, if you have a more advanced use case or a more advanced app, there's going to be a section for automation tools, which allow you to implement some logic into your app. Be aware that I will be listing some apps and some tools which are not meant as recommendations. Those are just some popular options. The no-code space has been growing so much, we can't list all of them, but there are websites that do, and on them you will find something that fits your budget. So where does the data for your app come from? If you're a beginner, I would advise to use an existing API before you get into all those database tools that I'll be explaining later. That way you don't have to worry either about the data structure nor the data itself. There are also plenty of free options out there, so you can just go to a directory like api-list.fun and then select something where you're interested in the topic. I'm pretty sure you'll find something. Before you decide on an API for your app, make sure you understand its documentation. Can you find the endpoints that you're needing? Do you understand the authentication method? If the API requires authentication, most of the time you can simply write them an email, explain your case, and they will give you a token where you can use the API for free for your starting project. Next up, we've got databases based on tables. And I'm pretty sure you have already seen those if you've watched any other Bravo videos. Those are great for your first project because they already have a familiar interface. Examples would be Airtable, Sheety, or, if you're looking for an open source alternative, Baserow. You will also find a lot of resources around those. Even the Bravo Academy uses Airtable sometimes. Furthermore, they're great for collaboration. Their main disadvantage though is that they're limited in complexity. So if you're doing a list inside of a list, for example, they might get messy really quickly. Sometimes you have the data for your app on a website already. Or maybe you want to release your content on the app and the website simultaneously. In that case, it might be most efficient for you to use your existing content management system. Examples for content management systems that support REST API endpoints would be WordPress, Webflow, and Notion, or if you're more technical, GraphCMS. The same thing works with customer relationship management software. An open source example would be Suite CRM. You could even go as far as fetching data from your e-commerce store. The clear advantage is that all content on your website is reusable. But before you go into using your CMS as the main data source, make sure that every endpoint that you're looking for is supported. The documentations of the tools will help you with that. If you're working on a more complex project, it might be worth looking at backend development tools. No-code examples of those would be Xano, Backendless, or Canonic. These allow for more flexibility and fulfill all of your customization needs. But they do tend to come with a steeper learning curve, so keep that in mind if you don't have a lot of experience with APIs. Once you've become comfortable with databases and APIs, it's pretty easy to switch between those tools, depending on the budget and complexity of your project. When it comes to integrating them with Bravo, they all work the same. If you want to learn how to implement those tools with Bravo, make sure to subscribe. Now, let's get to the automation tools. These tools might come in handy if you're working on a big app or one that needs some logic flow to operate correctly. Examples would be Zapier or Integromat. These tools offer endless possibilities when it comes to building logic flows or automating your content. However, it might be useful to know some basic coding principles. I don't mean any syntax by that. I just mean that it's useful to be able to articulate what you want the flow to achieve, so it's easier for you to build your own custom operations. Another disadvantage is that those requests, going through those flows, is a heavier task than just retrieving data from a database. So these companies might charge you when you have a lot of users. A cheaper alternative would be AutoCode, but there you need to know your JavaScript. Speaking of JavaScript or code in general, sometimes none of the pre-made solutions fit you. In that case, it might be best if you have some coding knowledge to build your own or hire a freelancer to do so. That way, of course, you don't have any limitations. On the contrary, you have to take care of the infrastructure, which means you're independent, but also everything lies in your hands. Additionally, it might become costly. But to sum up, you don't have to code your own backend anymore. As you've seen, for the most use cases, there's already an amazing tool out there. And I hope this video has helped you find yours. I would be interested, which tool did you choose and how do you integrate it with Bravo? Please write that in the comments. And also, if you enjoyed this video, give it a like and subscribe to the channel. I'll see you in the next episode. Bye.